I don't understand Toyota's obsession with putting buttons down low, and they're typically hard to see at night as well, just because like the backlighting doesn't stay on long enough or isn't bright enough. Toyota just likes putting a lot of buttons over here, is perhaps my biggest critique. Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is the all-new 2025 Toyota Crown Signia, a tall wagon propositioned to be an SUV, trimmed out, built out, and priced like a Lexus product, but wearing a Toyota badge and Toyota styling. Is this your next SUV? What sets it apart, makes it different, and what do I think about it after living with it for a full week? All that and more coming up. Stay tuned. First things first, I do want to thank Toyota for bringing this Crown Signia to us to live with for a full week. In fact, Holly road tripped it down to Austin and back, so you'll want to stick around for her thoughts here on the channel in a video with her behind the wheel and Tucker in his car seat. Hit the subscribe button to follow along with that. But yes, Toyota did supply us with their newest crossover type vehicle here in the Crown Signia. And while we're up front here, I do want to talk about what motivates it, because all Crown Signia models are hybrids, and all Crown Signia models require a prop rod. But motivating this all-wheel drive limited model forward, making 240 total system horsepower, but that gas-only torque number is 178 pound-feet of torque. Toyota doesn't combine that torque number like they do the total horsepower. The dual electric motors on this are powered as such. The front electric motor makes 180 horsepower and 199 pound-feet of torque. The rear electric motor really is just for maintaining traction and keeping your vehicle going in the intended direction. It makes 54 horsepower and 89 pound-feet of torque. Yes, I know I lament a lot about Toyota's use of prop rods, but I joke a lot about this vehicle really feeling like a Lexus product, really feeling premium, and a prop rod is really the only thing that just kind of leaves me scratching my head. The overall look of this, the front end wears the same styling that we have seen from the Crown sedan, tall sedan vehicle thing. This entire Crown family of vehicles is a unique kind of crossover of sorts for them. It really is just a tall car. In fact, the last time we had a Crown proper, not this Signia wagon, I actually compared it to what it replaced in Toyota's lineup with the Avalon, because my parents own a 2023 Avalon, I do believe, and I did a lot of comparisons there. This really is just a taller car, making this a tall wagon, not an SUV, though we'll talk more about just how much space is in the back. As we look at the front though, we do get this Lexus-like grille up front, even though the rest of the styling really does mimic the new Camry, the new Crown, on which it shares a name and heritage and a lot of body parts, and the new Prius, the very Prius-like lighting elements here. In fact, this little wing here, this whole running light is like straight from the Prius, but LED running lights, turn signals, LED headlights in this. Very nice, very clean look, but yeah, a little Lexus spindle grille here, maybe? Before we climb into the Venza, the Crown Signia, I did want to show you the Toyota key. Ours does have an optional key glove with this little tether here on it, but you can see we've got lock, unlock, your hatch release, a panic button. This does have remote start on the key, but in typical Toyota fashion, you have to push, push, push and hold the lock button on the third time, and wait and wait and wait. It's beeping or lighting up at me, but then it will eventually start up. It still hasn't done it, but yes, you get the idea. I wish Toyota would give you just a dedicated button on the key fob itself for remote start. But one good thing while we are talking about remote start, this has Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, and with that comes the new improved remote start that doesn't kill the engine when you come up and unlock the vehicle or open a door, which you can do with the key in your pocket or your purse because it is a completely passive entry system. You can unlock it just by touching the back of the door. That extends my mirrors. I can lock it by pushing right there, and that power folds my mirrors, and I do get that on all 4 doors, which I really like in a vehicle that will be used for a family, because typically Tucker's the first one to get in and get strapped into his child safety seat. When you do open the doors, our Top Trim Limited, we have this nice camel colored leather seating all the way around in this one. It really does look nice and contrasts very well with the blue paint on our tester. As we take a look at the door, you can see we have all our window and mirror controls down low. We have 2-person memory seat for the driver, but we do get some gloss black here, which is not my favorite. We'll see a little bit more of that throughout the vehicle. We get a little bit of storage there, nice padded armrest, nice accents here, cup holder in the door with a little bit of storage, multi-way adjustable seat here with 2-way lumbar, and then, as I mentioned, leather seats here. So very nice interior appointments for the front 2 passengers. These are heated, they are ventilated, and there is an automatic function where it takes a look at the exterior temperature plus what you have your climate control set at. If you don't like that, it remembers wherever you had it set the last time the vehicle was on. As we get in here, you can see, yeah, not ready to drive. So it did remote start for me, but we're gonna go ahead and push the button right here and let the vehicle actually come to life for us now that the vehicle is on. But yes, being a hybrid, it's a little hard to tell when it remote starts, even from the key fob. But yes, I'll give Toyota kudos there that there is remote start and that it does work when you unlock the doors. So I like that a whole lot. Starting over my left knee here, you can see we have heated washer fluid, a heated windshield, a poverty blank here, automatic high beams, but that is your run of buttons right there. We do have our odometer trip computer right here and our brightness control for our gauge cluster here. We do have some buttons further down here, your rear hatch and your fuel door release that again are kind of hidden just in how far they are recessed here. I don't understand Toyota's obsession with putting buttons down low, and they're typically hard to see at night as well, just because like the backlighting doesn't stay on long enough or isn't bright enough. Toyota just likes putting a lot of buttons over here. It is perhaps my biggest critique of this car, which says a lot because that's barely a critique at all. I know it's just picking at nits. Here we've got all of our driver assistance buttons. We've got all of our radio control buttons. You can see we have a volume toggle. We've got your track seek button there, and then a multi-configurable gauge cluster right here. You can actually pan through 3 different settings here, so you can change what is in each pod and what is in the middle, but typically we like to keep it here. We don't get a head-up display, which I would really like to see at this $50,000 plus price point in a premium vehicle, but these gauges are fairly easy to read at a glance, so it is not too big of an issue. Over here we do have the updated 12.3-inch Toyota multimedia interface, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I am recording on my phone right now. You'll get to see that later when I'm driving. And then up here, we do have an additional screen in the rear view mirror here, but you can see it don't really need it. The view out of the back window is fairly good, but just flip that forward and now we've got a display from the camera that is mounted behind a glass back there, so it does get wiped off when your wiper goes. You can see it is that section right there. That's the camera mounted right there, so it does get cleaned off with that rear wiper. It is a really nice touch because we've been in vehicles with the camera on the outside, and when the back of the vehicle looks like that, you'll be grateful that the camera is behind the glass and can be cleaned off. But I really do like it. It is a very clear, crisp image. Up here we get some controls for our lighting and our massive panoramic roof, but interestingly enough, the opening portion is this rather narrow portion right here, and then we've got a big single pane of glass over those rear seats back there. As we move down from the infotainment to the climate screen, you can see dual zone climate, which I really like, And then automatic heated and ventilated seats, automatic heated steering wheel right here. Though if you don't like being in auto, you can set it wherever you want, and it will remember where you had it set every time the vehicle is cycled on or off. There's our different fan speed right there, but here are your heated and ventilated buttons for your front seats. You can see both front seats do get that, which I like a lot. Qi wireless charger here that doesn't take up a lot of space. And then you can see we do have a camera button for our 360 cameras, though Toyota does this thing where if you're parked and you hit the camera button, it does this. You can only pause it, but it just gives you a quick look around you. You can't actually do anything with it, really, in my opinion. It's not my favorite. I like some of the competition better, but when I put it in drive or reverse with that camera button pressed, now you can see we get a nice clear view out of or all the way around me. We'll go ahead and show you here. The back camera is a little bit dirty, and Toyota does something really cool. They give you this button right here to clean it off. And that cleans off both your back window and that back camera for the backup camera, because this is a different camera than what operates this. So I really like that you can clean that off with the push of a button right here. Another thing I really like, we'll put it in drive and hit the camera button just because my tripod is back there. We have the invisible car system here. So the vehicle actually remembers what you drove over and kind of fills in your car so that you can see all the way around you and underneath you. It is a very nice touch that Toyota has started doing in their vehicles as of late. And especially like when trying to place your vehicle in a particular spot, it is very nice to be able to have a feature just like that. And you can see just how easy it is to park it where I want it from that. As we move further down, we get a Toyota Prius style gear selector here. You push over and forward for reverse, back for drive, and then you have a button for park. And all of this is surrounded in gloss black plastic, and you can see just in the week that we've had it, the dust accumulation. That's why I don't like gloss black all that much. It just makes it feel a little less premium in here with all the dust showing. There are other materials that could be used here. Traction control button here, EV mode button here. At low speeds, you can set it to prefer the electric motor, but I believe that's 20 miles per hour and below. Auto hold button for your brake when you're stopped in traffic, and your drive mode selector. We have 3 or 4 different drive modes here: Eco, Normal, Sport, and Custom. And you can see we get a little animation for each of those as we pan through them up front. And then 2 cup holders here, a little bit of storage here, but it is hard plastic and will rattle if you've got some hard plastic around it. This does come out to give you even larger storage area if you want it or need it. 2 USB-C power ports here, which I like. They are purely for power because inside the center console is where you will find your USB-C interface for your infotainment up here. One thing I do like about this is that it opens either direction. So no matter who's getting in here, it is easy to open, and it doesn't like make this massively tall lid open if it were rear hinged. Coming to the glove box here, we get a decent sized glove box. It's a little on the small side, but really it's just like this door that leads you into this deep slot back here. But decently sized enough for all the necessary paperwork that comes with it. And then you can see we've got some nice interior accents all the way around. Freeform display, the asymmetrical design here, but this really does feel like a Lexus product versus a Toyota. It really does feel nice and premium in here, which really is saying a lot. You can see we even get some kind of gold accents around the AC vents, and that does continue all the way across the front here underneath the infotainment, and continues over here to my left side. Coming to me, I've got enough headroom. My seat is all the way down. I am 5'10", so if you're taller than me or have a taller torso than I do, you're definitely going to want to sit in here and see what one is like with and without the large panoramic glass roof. But yeah, I've got decent space up front here. But what I am really impressed with is the back seat in this one. Again, this rides on what replaced the Avalon, the larger sedan in Toyota's lineup. What's that back seat like? Let's go check it out. I really do wish we had some dark tinted windows back here in the back. That is the first thing I would go and change if I purchased one of these for myself. But talking about the rear doors, they're very large rear doors and they open up nice and wide to welcome rear seat passengers into their very spacious back seat here. I like that a lot. Taking a look at the door though, we get padded armrests, more use of the materials back here, very large cubby storage here, another big bottle holder down here, a little bit more gloss black plastic, but oh, would you look at that, single mode heated outboard seats, which I really like in the back, especially over the week that we've had this. It is quite chilly out and has been since this was delivered. You can see the seating materials and colors do continue back here in the back. We even get the piping like what we had up front on the front seats. It is a very nice look. You can see we do have some hard plastic covers covering the lower latch points. Again, if you want to see what it's like installing that child safety seat, I'm now trying out some POV installations, so you'll want to hit that subscribe button and see what it takes to install that child safety seat in the back here. But as I move in, I will say the seating position, especially here in the back seat, but in the Crown lineup in general, it does sit up a little bit higher. It is more SUV-like, and just how easy it is to get in and out. And then when you're in here in the back seat, you can see I've got plenty of room. I really appreciate just how much room Toyota gave rear seat passengers here in this one. Then we do get storage from mat pockets on both of the front seats. We get some rear AC vents back here. We get 2 USB-C ports back here. More gloss black. I don't know why there's so much gloss black in this. It's overdone. We do get a center tunnel here, so you are going to have to kind of straddle that if you are sitting here in the middle. The rear seats are nice and cushy, and we do have a fold-down center armrest with 2 cup holders. That doesn't do the Toyota Camry thing and flop all the way to the seat bottom. It actually stays where you would want it if you were to use it. Now, I do have a slight critique because we have Tucker's child safety seat here. We do have a 60-40 split bench seat back, but the 60% is now stuck here in place because of Tucker's child safety seat. You saw me fold down this portion right here from the back. You can also do that from the side of the vehicle. These don't recline, but they are fairly comfortable. And yes, coming to me, my headroom is diminished slightly from the slope of the roof line and the fact that these rear seats do sit up just a little bit higher than the seats up front. Again, it is very easy getting in and out of this. This really is aimed at being easy to get in and out of. Blurs that line between car and SUV. It really is a true crossover in the truest sense of the word. And given its overall size, it is the same approximate height in our driveway as a subcompact crossover that we're testing right now, if that gives you any indication of just how big it is. But that is enough of a tour. Let's hop back behind the steering wheel and see how this thing drives. All right, before we set off in this one, I do want to say I am going to test just how loud this thing gets and see how that works out for us on this trip. But now that we've got cameras not being held by me and my phone is allowed to connect to the infotainment screen, I will say I really like Toyota's infotainment screen. We do get some Toyota shortcuts here to the side, but I can get rid of them with the push of a button right there. And now I have full use of that screen for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but can quickly go over to all my shortcuts from there, get my energy flow, things like that here from the side. As we get moving in this, I do want to say we are going to 0 to 60 test this one 3 separate occasions in a few different ways, just to see exactly how quick this is as we get it out on the road. As I mentioned, Toyota doesn't like brag on horsepower and torque like you think they would, given the fact that we've got dual electric motors and a gas engine powering this one. But given that most power is going through the front wheels through that electric motor, motor. I do suspect this to be rather quick off the line in just general 0 to 60 testing, but we'll go ahead and come here to a straight stretch of road. We will put it in sport mode. We'll come to a complete stop. We'll put my foot firmly on the brake, floor the accelerator, and drop the brake. Got a little bit of wheel hop, wheel spin there, and we are off. The gas engine is fully working, as are the electric motors. 7.29 seconds 0 to 60. And you can see from the screen here exactly where all of that power was coming from. But now you can see we're coasting. We're putting power back into that battery. We'll test it again towards the end of the video in normal mode and see what that's like, but 729 is respectable for what this is. It'll make it very easy to merge into highway traffic and just generally live with this vehicle in daily life. I think when you start getting over 8 seconds is when it really starts feeling slow, when you're really pushing a vehicle such as this. Now setting off down a curvy road back around the lake here in East Texas, we are on some highly textured pavement where I want to talk a little bit about those 21-inch wheels and tires and the Bridgestone Turanza tires. I really liked Michelin Primacy tires that I know Toyota has used on vehicles before. That really seems to be the pinnacle all-season touring tire. These Turanzas, both the fact that they are wrapped around 21-inch wheels and the fact that they aren't the best tire in the world, are giving me a lot of road noise here. I'm measuring at just over 73. Let's see, I'm peaking around 76 decibels, which isn't bad. And remember, I am on highly textured pavement, but I'll just say I'm getting a lot of road noise I didn't expect in this vehicle because, as I mentioned in the intro, this really is giving Lexus vibes. I really do feel like this is the most premium Toyota product and could very easily wear a Lexus badge here on the steering wheel, on the nose and tail. And I think it would fit very well within the Lexus lineup. It just feels very premium, but the road noise is a little concerning. It's not terrible, but it's not like whisper quiet in here. It's not what I expected after having sampled one of these already, now getting to live with this one for a week. Otherwise, though, it is very nice to drive around. Its driving characteristic is very car-like because it's a car. It is a tall car, but it is a car. They may have it listed under the crossovers and SUVs section on their website. It is a tall car with a wagon back. But yes, it's very easy to point, shoot, put it where you want to. The steering isn't too heavy. It isn't too light either, so you don't feel like you're driving it with your fingertips so that you don't like dart the wrong direction. It's well weighted and very easy to maneuver around. At low speeds, I can say it's very easy also to put where you want it, as I was showing you driving around the parking lot earlier in this video. The overall ride firmness on this is not all that bad either. We have a multi-link suspension in the rear, MacPherson strut up front, and it is doing a great job of really smoothing out the rough pavement that I'm over. There are imperfections that we've been driving over. It's not too floaty and it's not too jarring in situations like that. It's Goldilocks. It's just right. So it's just that perfect mix of crossover-like utility, but very car-like ride and handling. And given that it's a tall car, it gives up a little bit in body roll versus perhaps a traditional sedan, but is very easy just to effortlessly put through corners like this. I've really got no complaints on it. I will mention, as I did mention earlier when talking about the door locks and the remote start and all that stuff, this has Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, so I do have cameras watching back at me to make sure I'm paying attention to my surroundings and everything going on around me. It will beep at me if I don't and give me a little warning in the dash. Just say, hey, driver in attention, look up, look forward, sit up, whatever the case may be. But I do like its lane keeping, lane tracing, and there are various other appointments that come with Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, but I've got a full list of details on this vehicle down in the video description down below. So if there's something that I don't bring up audibly here on the review, always check the video comments. But generally speaking, I've liked this. I've enjoyed it. It has been a nice vehicle to drive around. The power delivery is smooth and effortless. You don't feel it stutter between hybrid mode and EV mode. You don't really feel the eCVT at all because, well, you don't really feel CVTs at all. It doesn't have a rubber bandy-like feel like most do. But yeah, when we were accelerating earlier, you heard it was just like, so there is that. But given that we are testing a $10,000 more expensive luxury subcompact crossover the same weekend as this is the better driving environment. I really much prefer being in this vehicle in this driver's seat versus the other vehicle we are testing. It is a much more smooth, polished experience, and it says a lot. When I don't want to get in a heritage luxury brand, I want to get in this Toyota that is also luxurious. This really is the better of the two vehicles we are testing this week, and you'll just have to figure out on the channel what the other one is from context clues. Now, as we are ending the end of the twisty bit, the driving portion on this one, we're going to do a couple more 0 to 60 tests. I am now in normal mode. I'm not going to brake torque it. I'm just going to come to a complete stop, move from the brake, and floor the accelerator to see if we can't best that 729, because as I mentioned, we did get some wheel hop, some chirping from those front tires. That really is where all of the torque and all the traction is aimed, is those front tires. But come to a complete stop here. Make sure there's nobody around me. Yeah, ready, full stop, ready, set, here we go. Much more predictable acceleration, better 0 to 30 time, 739. So quicker to 30, slower to 60. I don't know if that's just because we're going uphill slightly on that run, but they're about the exact same. So brake torquing it really hampered it in our initial 0 to 30 run. We're going to do that one more time. Now going slightly downhill. This really is more what you are going to see if you're having to merge onto traffic. So full stop, and here we go. Got a little wheel slip from it, the front tires that time. Worse 0 to 30, but is it better 0 to 60? Yep, 719. And that is because, yeah, we're going downhill slightly. Averaging it all together, somewhere around 7.2, which is solid and respectable. This is not meant to be a race car. It is meant to be a comfortable cruiser that gets good fuel economy. I will say the last Lexus we tested was the ES300H hybrid front wheel drive, and that thing gets significantly better fuel economy from an older hybrid system. This is Toyota's more up-to-date system with that E all-wheel drive in this one. This is a bigger car, it's a little bit heavier, but it's very interesting when you compare it to that ES. The starting base model of this Crown Signia is the same starting base price as the ES, essentially, and the price as tested to our 300H F Sport handling that we tested is right on par with this Crown Signia hybrid all-wheel drive limited version that we have here. But here we get actual leather seats to the new Lux that were in the Lexus. We get a JBL sound system to the non-branded Lexus system. I really do feel like this is almost a Lexus, or could be a Lexus, because it almost, or does, out Lexus the last Lexus we had. And you know I liked that ES300H. In our time with it, it did kind of change my attitude towards front drive based Lexus products. Well, that is about it for my time with this Crown Signia. If you want to see more from us, hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell if you are watching this on Facebook so that you will see more content from us when it drops. You can find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com, where you will find links to everything we do. But as for me, piloting the 2025 Crown Signia around my favorite driving road here in East Texas, till next time, gearheads. Bye.